Corliss is still in a black cell, we're going home. I'm not helping her anymore. Get the ships ready.
Welcome back to the Star Side, everybody, where we talk about Game of Thrones, Marvel, and Star Wars. I am Crash Landon, and I am excited about Criston Cole's death. Welcome back. We're about to go through some spoilers. If you haven't watched the show yet, or haven't gotten your fill of your breakdown videos, go ahead and get all those out the way, because I'm about to spoil some of the book and other stuff. So just bear with me here. We're going to figure out how they're going to land this plane we're calling Season 3. Now, that was probably the most book-accurate thing that they've done in this show. This show specifically, House of the Dragon. Go ahead and put up that clip of Criston Cole.
And he says, Cole's gonna die. And all I ask, is it faithful to the books? Because I love how Cole dies in the books.
One of me against the two of you.
Will that be enough to make a fight of it? And he offers to spare his men their lives. That's all that I cared about, that he died how he died in the books. And he did. So I was very happy.
I know his name is Fabian, but he felt the same way I felt. Like, we both wanted that to be super, super accurate. So if you could have seen me sitting here with my cousin, and as soon as he said what he said, I was like, arrow, 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 arrow. And then it hit, and then the second one hit, and I was good to go, expecting the next one in the throat, but they hit him in the cheek. Either way, that's one of the best things that I've seen in this show so far. Episode 6 had my attention from then. The battles were kind of strung together, like the part where they see the bodies pose and they spring up and fight back is a little bit further away from the actual Butcher's Ball than the show suggests, but I like the way that the show did it. It's kind of a good way to tire your foe out and then surprise them. Everybody was saying they were sacrificial lambs, but if they would have won, you know, they wouldn't have been sacrifices. So, you know, that's why you put the worst warriors in the front, apparently. But yeah, real happy about Criston Cole's ending. In the show, it was Alicent Alicent Blackwood who did it. In the book, it was Red Rob Rivers and 2 other bowmen who did it. So that was my only thing. That was the only thing I did want. I did want that extra line by Roddy the Ruin when he said,
"We can begin here, the 4 of us. One of me against the 3 of you. Will that be enough to make a fight of it?" But Longleaf the Lion Slayer said, "I'll want 3 more." And up on the ridge, Red Rob Rivers and 2 of his archers raised their longbows. 3 arrows flew across the field, striking Cole in belly, neck, and breast. "I'll have no songs about how brave you died, Kingmaker," declared Longleaf. "There's tens of thousands dead on your account." He was speaking to a corpse.
So that was the only line that I was missing, and hope my accent's getting better. Next we got Aemond at Harrenhal, and of course this is mirroring Daemon at Harrenhal from season 2, with a slightly different arc. Now Alice knows what she has to do to goad him into giving her the castle. So she's working on that. She's working on getting some kids. The cool thing was that they found 5 dragon's eggs from Rhaena Targaryen, sister of the old King Jaehaerys Targaryen, who also rode Dreamfire, so those would be Dreamfire's eggs. And long story short, after the death of her daughter, she disappeared, flew around for a little bit, and ended up settling at Harrenhal to live out the rest of her life. And there was only one other person, a guy named Maegor Towers, named after King Maegor, but Maegor Towers, who lived in another part with a small host. So he lived in this tower, she lived in this tower, and each of them died there. So I think Maegor died first, and Rhaena accepted his household staff, and then she passed after that. And then I guess Dreamfire made her way back to the Dragon Pit. But Dreamfire has been known to lay clutches of eggs. So very feasible that, for one, if we're thinking that Alice Rivers has been around for that long, she may have been around when Rhaena Targaryen herself was at Harrenhal. So she was either a part of Maegor Tower's staff or maybe Rhaena's staff, and she's lived there ever since. So it makes sense that she was the only one who knew that the dragon eggs were there, hid them. No maester knew, no record was ever taken, and anything like that. So what I think is going to happen is at least one of those eggs is going to be in a cradle with a baby here shortly. And I say shortly, but I mean probably season 4. So don't know if it's going to hatch or not. In the book, after the Dance of the Dragons, when Alice Rivers comes up again, somebody does mention she has a dragon. They seen it. So don't know if it's a dragon that just happened to fly around Harrenhal, or don't know if it's one of these that ended up hatching in her son's cradle, the son by Aemond Targaryen. So that is interesting right there. I'm going to lean to the cradle theory now that we've seen the eggs, and he said one of those was warm. So one of the things that I think I talked about last week was that Vhagar being missing lines up with the book, because Vhagar is burning, I think burned like 4 or 5 different small cities during this time period, and everybody thinks that Aemond is on her back. So seeing in the show that he's not, Vhagar's just out being a dragon, and everybody's worried about where Aemond is. Makes complete sense. But what I'm thinking now is, as far as time frames go, when does Aemond leave Harrenhal, and then when does Daemon get to Harrenhal? Because in the book, Daemon is literally waiting 14 days for Aemond to get there, after him and Nettles have gone around searching for him for weeks, settles in Harrenhal without her. He slashes a weirwood tree 14 times, once each day, while he's waiting on him. That's the only reason we know it's 14 days. So kind of wonder if they're going to shorten that time period, if Aemond is still going to be at Harrenhal when Daemon gets there, how the show is going to do it. But that is my speculation for that. So Helena being pregnant right now actually does line up in the books. Maelor is still gone, but Mushroom mentions that when she does what she does, she did it because she was with child, because of her days as a brothel queen with her mom after Rhaenyra took the city. Mushroom claims that that's where they were sent after they kept talking about her sons being bastards and whatnot. Viseria had the idea of sending them to a brothel until they were with child, so they could have a bastard of their very own, since they like to talk about bastardy all the time. So that, of course, I don't think is going to happen in the show. I'd be very, very surprised if they were going to do that. But her pregnancy does line up with when Mushroom said she was pregnant right now. And he's not right about everything, but he's been right about certain things, either in the show or in the book. So just thought that was interesting as far as Helena goes. I think the Helena of it all is going to either happen at the end of this season, so not next episode because that's Tumbleton, but the episode after that, or the beginning of season 4. And then I kind of think the Aemond Daemon Harrenhal fight will be shortly after that, because they got a lot to wrap up before they end the show. So that's my speculation with that. Unwin Peake. Unwin Peake is a big, big deal in the book and in the rest of what's going on in the show. Say from season 3, episode 8, I'm assuming, and the rest of the show. So the fact that he hasn't been introduced yet is kind of weird. Not saying that he definitely has to be introduced, but taking him out changes a whole lot. So Unwin Peake, where's he at and when's he coming? I hope it's next episode we see either him or somebody related to him, and then he comes in the last episode of the season or something like that. But he's very integral in the rest of the Dance of the Dragons until whoever becomes king next takes the throne. So Alfred Broom, remember Alfred Broom? Alfred Broom is one of Rhaenyra's men-at-arms. He wanted to be the Castellan. I don't know what his job was in the show, other than kind of being on her council. He was sent to Harrenhal to figure out what was going on with Daemon, and we haven't seen him since. But at Daemon, he was called a traitor in the wind, and he tried to get Daemon to turn on Rhaenyra, and Daemon didn't turn on Rhaenyra while he was still in the room. So I'm not really sure where he went. Guessing he probably just went back to Dragonstone, because that's where his story kind of culminates. But looking for him too, because he's a big part of what goes on in season 4, and we haven't seen him all season. So, other notable things I want to talk about are Baela Targaryen and Alan Valerian. That actually happens in the book also, but it happens much, much later. And what they're skipping is they're skipping um, a period of time where she became a little sluttier, and she was just messing with all types of boys all through the Red Keep. But also in the show, she's still supposed to be 15 years old, and Alan himself is supposed to be 16 or 17. Um, so they've obviously aged him up a little bit. So, but you know, nobody's faulting her. She was waiting all her life for her and Jace to get married, and now that's not going to happen. She has to get to know some guy all over again. So there's a knight in the books named Byron Swan, Sir Byron Swan, and his story is linked to Serwyn of the Mirror Shield that we heard about in A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. This is another knight that tried it, basically. So Serwyn's story was he hid behind a shield that was so reflective and clean, shiny. It looked like a mirror, and all the dragon saw was its own reflection, and he was able to sneak up on the dragon and kill it. So we saw that story play out in A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, and that was the whole, well, not that one, but, you know, them doing dragon stories was the whole basis for everybody getting in trouble in that story. But this one, Sir Byron Swan is said to have tried the same thing. He tried to sneak up on a dragon. They're not sure what dragon it was. Some say it might have been Vhagar. Some say it was Sunfire. Some say those are the main two. Those are the main two. Everybody just thinking it is. Nobody knows where Sunfire quite is. It's not by where they left it at Rook's Rest. And knowing that Vhagar is just flying around, could have been Vhagar resting. But either way, it didn't work out for Byron Swan. His shield wasn't as mirrory as he needed to be, I guess. So he didn't make it, but that's a cool link to A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms and the other lore for Game of Thrones and in general. Those are most of the things that I saw in season 3, episode 6. I thought I'd go ahead and try to get one out before the next episode comes, so I'll be more up to date. I can just do a solo video for the finale when it comes out too in 2 weeks. So look for me next week with episode 7. I'll be coming with that one shortly, and also episode 8 around the corner. And then we'll have more of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms coming next year, and this again in the year after that. So there'll be no more House of Dragon for a little bit, but I do have an idea for a couple more videos that I don't think have already been done. So that's the thing with this. I've watched so many Game of Thrones videos from other creators. I don't want to rehash old topics that I've definitely seen. So other than breakdown videos on the episodes, things like that, timeline stuff based on things that I've seen that people are asking about. I made that family tree, so family tree connection stuff. But other than that, just kind of making these videos as they come to me. So expect 2 more for sure. And then I have an idea to keep going for a little bit more Dance of the Dragons stuff after that. So crash landed here. It's been the Stark Side. Another one in the books. And we'll see you next week around this time probably. Let you get all your spoilery stuff out the way first. And then come to me to talk about something real. All right? See you then.